Okay. Good morning. I am Glenn Bell, and this is the next class in our fitness class. Today, we are going to focus on flexibility. Now, the objective of this class is to expose students to a variety of physical exercises that will promote a healthier, active lifestyle. Now, flexibility is important in preventing injuries and increasing individuals' performance. Students will be able to do a variety of stretching exercises. Now, today, when we're doing our fitness class, we're focusing on flexibility. Now, like I just told you, flexibility is important. That way, it helps reduce the injuries that we have. Sometimes we can recall when we stretched out or reached out for something or we bent down to try to get something, we probably felt the aching pain in our muscles. That's because our muscles are still so tight. They're very tight. Stretching helps loosen them up. That way you can move freely to pick up something or stretch and bend and get something and not hurt. Okay? Today we're going to go over 12 stationary exercises. When we say stationary, that means it requires no movement. We're going to probably be in one position. Now, these exercises are very good because it requires no equipment, and very little space. As you can see, I'm actually in my backyard, but we can actually do this in the bedroom, in the living room, kitchen, closet, inside of the bathroom. It doesn't require much space at all. So that's the great thing about doing stationary stretches. Okay, uh, with the 12 stretches we're going to do, we're going to focus on within those 12 stretches, I'm sorry, we're going to target specific muscles. The muscles that we're going to focus on today is the quadricep muscles, which is located at the top part of your leg, your hamstring muscles, which is located on the rear top part of your leg, your gluteus maximus or your rear, your triceps, and your bicep muscles. So we're going to focus on the top part of your arms, in the top part of your legs as well as your rear. Now, if you take, we're going to do these 12 exercises for a duration of 30 seconds apiece. So each one of the exercises, we're going to hold it for 30 seconds to try to get as much flexibility or as much exercise as we can possibly get. Okay? The first one we're going to do, we're going to put our feet together like this, and we're going to reach on down and try to place our palms flat on the ground. Now, the key to this is we do not want to bend our knees. We want to try to hang low as far as possible. If we can, place our palms flat on the ground. If we cannot, it's okay. Just hang as low as you can go. So you bring your feet together just like this, knees locked out. Bring it on down slow. Take slow, deep breaths all the way down. Gonna hold it for 30 seconds. While you're stretching, you're taking slow, deep breaths. Slow, deep breaths. Bring it up on slow. All right. After that, we're just going to take our right foot, just cross it over our left foot, just like this. With this, you want your feet, you don't want your toes to be standing up in the air once you cross it over. You want your feet to stay flat. So you're going to take your right foot, cross it over your left foot, and you're going to do the exact same exercise. You bring it straight down. Like I said, you want to keep your knees locked out, and you don't want to try to, if you can, put your palms flat on the ground. But like I said earlier, if you can't, it's okay. Just hang it as low as you can go. Okay? Bring it on down for 30 seconds. Slow, deep breaths. It's important that you breathe while you're doing these exercises. I'll tell you that in a second. All right. Now, we're just going to flip it now. The first one, we just went right over our left. This time, we're going to take our left foot and put it over our right foot. Now, when we bring it on down, like I said earlier, it's important that you take slow, deep breaths, because when you take those slow, deep breaths, it allows your body to relax. And once your body becomes more relaxed, that's the looser your muscles to become. But if you're sitting up there, you're holding your breath, you're a lot tenser. a lot more tighter. But if you're taking slow, deep breaths, your body become a whole lot looser and makes you a lot more limber. Okay, so this is going to be the last stretch of this magnitude that we're going to focus on. This stretch right here focus on the hamstring muscles that's located from your lower back all the way down to your back of your kneecap. So we're going to break it on down for another 30 count. Ready? Go. Slow, deep breaths. Remember, you want to keep your legs locked out. You don't want to bend your knees like this to get your hands down. That's a no-no. Keep your arms, your legs locked out and drop as far as you can go. Slow, deep breaths. Right? Now, yes, I'm going to turn the mat this way. Now, here we go. We're still working on stretching the hamstring muscles. We're still, those 3 stretches targeted the hamstring muscles. The next 3 that we're going to do is still going to work on those hamstrings as well. We're still going to target those as well. We're going to spread our legs. We want our legs to be wider than our shoulders. We don't want them even with our shoulders or shoulder width apart. We want to spread them wide outside of our shoulders. So notice how my feet are outside of my shoulders. What we're going to do, we're going to go down and we're going to place our hands on the right outside of our ankle. If we can, we're going to try to take our forehead and place it on our knee. Now, if we can't, now we're doing all of this without bending our knees. Our knees have to stay locked out. So we're going to try to place both hands on the outside of our ankle and our forehead on our knee. Now, if we can't place both hands on the outside of the ankle, just reach down and go as far as you can. If you can't place your forehead on your knee, just bring it down as low as you can. Do not bend your knee to get your hands down to your ankle. Do not bend your knee to place your forehead on your knee, because you're not allowing the full stretching of the hamstring. You're only reducing it to a certain part. The only way we can stretch out that full hamstring if it's all the way locked out. Okay, so we're going to go down to the right, both hands on the outside of the right ankle for a 30-second count. Remember, we're taking slow, deep breaths. Ready? Go. Slow, deep breaths. Notice how my hands are on the outside of my ankle. Not on the inside, or the outside. All right. Now we're going to do the exact same thing, but we're going to the left side this time, okay? Same thing, we're going to the left. 30-second count. Ready? No bending the knees. No bending the knees. Keep it locked out. Ready? Go. Slow, deep breaths. When you're down here, you can feel that hamstring muscle pulling. You can feel it pulling. If you feel a little pain, that's a good thing. That means that the hamstring muscle is stretching on out. That's a good thing. All right. Now we're going to take our hands and place them on the outside of both of our ankles. We're going to try to take our forehead and put it between our legs. We're going to try to reach back as far as we can go. Right? Bring it down. 30-second count. Feel it stretch, pulling those hamstrings all the way from your lower back all the way to the back of your knees, even in the inside of your ankle, hamstrings. You feel it, you should feel it pulling, stretching on out. All right. Next we're gonna stretch. So those 6 exercises focus or target specifically the hamstring muscles. Those are hamstring muscles. Now we're gonna focus on our quadricep muscles. What we're gonna do, we're gonna take our right foot and place it in our right hand. So you're gonna take our right foot and place it in our right hand. Now when we place our foot in our right hand, we're going to pull our foot slowly. What that's gonna isolate this quadricep muscle and stretch it on out. So when we place our foot in our right hand, we're gonna pull it slowly, which is isolating this muscle. Now you can feel it, it's gonna feel it stretching or pulling apart. You think that's a great thing. All right, so we're gonna place our right foot in our right hand and we're gonna pull that muscle slowly. It's isolating this quadricep muscle right there. It's important when we're doing this quadricep stretch, it's important that we keep our opposite foot flat on the ground, toes spread out, heels to the ground. We don't want to be up on our toes because that'll force us to bounce around. And we shouldn't be jumping around like we're doing jumping jacks or spinning around like a top. That's a no-no. You hold it. You hold it. Okay? Now we're going to go with the left one. Remember, you're placing it in your hand, you're pulling it slowly to isolate that muscle. The good thing about these exercises are, it doesn't really require much. You can do these exercises. Let's say if you're sitting at the office and you want to take a 3-minute break, you can stand up and do these right there. Or if you watching television and commercial comes on and you just don't want to sit there, hey, you can get up there and stretch out those quadricep muscles. Doesn't require much space at all. All right. All right. Next, we're gonna target our tricep and our bicep muscles. What we're gonna do, you're gonna take your right hand. You're gonna place it behind your left shoulder blade. You're gonna take your left hand and place it on top of your elbow. And what you're gonna do, you're gonna pull your elbow slightly to the left. Now, what that's gonna do is going to isolate this tricep muscle. The tricep muscle. You're gonna isolate this tricep muscle right here. Okay, you put your right hand on your left shoulder blade, left hand on the elbow, you pull slowly. You should feel it stretching out that tricep right there. You should feel it stretching out that tricep. Remember, we're still taking slow, deep breaths. Holding it for a 30-second count. Got 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Switch it. Left hand. Right shoulder blade. Right hand elbow. Pull slowly. All right, relax. All right, the last stretch that we're going to focus on is going to stretch our groin muscles. Our groin muscles, what you're going to do, you're going to keep your feet flat on the ground. You're going to squat down ever so slightly. You're going to take your elbows and place them in the inside of your knees. Your elbows should be on the inside of your knees. So you're going to squat down. Feet are still flat, not on your toes. Feet still flat. Squat down. Place your elbows inside of your knees, and you're going to push out slowly. Not hard, just very slowly. You're stretching out those groin muscles. All of these stretches you're doing, you should feel some form of resistance. If you feel some form of resistance or slight pain, that means it's working. You're stretching that specific muscle. There we go. That's today's fitness class. Now today we focus on flexibility, stretching. At the end of the class right now, you should feel yourself being a lot more loose or limber. That's a great thing. It helps, like I say, it helps prevent injury, especially those little nagging injuries. So if we take the time out to stretch at least 2, 3 times a day, you can help prevent small injuries like pulling of the hamstring or pulling a muscle or tearing a bicep or something like that because your muscles are very, very loose. Uh, I like to compare it. Let's say, let me see. Hmm, 1 second. I like we compare our muscles to like objects. So we want our muscle, the importance of stretching so our muscles can become very loose and limber. If our muscles are very loose and limber when we move around, twist and bend like this leaf, it won't rip or tear. Notice I can twist, spin, pull this little leaf and it won't rip or tear. You know why? Because it's limber, it's flexible. That's like our muscles. But if our muscles are not loose and limber and we don't stretch, it'll kind of be like this little branch or piece of grass. If you bend it or twist it too much, it'll eventually rip. It'll eventually rip. See? All right, bro. But if we stretch them a lot and it's loose and limber, it's nothing. It will never rip, bend, or pull. Okay? So, uh, that is today's lesson. Like I say, we focused on improving our quadricep, hamstrings, uh, groin muscles, tricep and bicep muscles. Like I say, you can do these stretches in any area: bedroom, living room, closet, backyard, front yard. You can hold it for a duration of, you don't have to be 30 seconds. I choose to do 30 seconds. You can hold each exercise for 10 seconds or 15 seconds or whatever. It's just all about getting out and increasing your flexibility, stretching, because it's going to help pay off in the long run. Okay? I am Glenn Bell, and that is today's lesson. See you next week.